President Trump has a particular fixation with regard to trade deficits with European and Asian allies. And we've heard a little bit about competition with China. Those are kind of the two big areas that he focused on during the campaign. So I think the place to start is that he has a fundamentally different view of alliances than traditional American foreign policy, which sees alliances based in values and principles where the United States is both a patron and a partner. For Trump, it's much more of a partnership that's very transactional, less based in values. And there he expects trade to be equitable, and he expects security ties to be equitable as well, which means that the United States will probably foot less of the costs of the security commitments it makes to its NATO partners and to its Indo-Pacific allies. Well, I don't think we have a full sense of what Trump wants to do on China. On the one hand, he sees clear economic competition, and that's a continuity from the Biden administration. I would expect that to continue. But Trump has also said he's not interested in great power war, whether it's in Europe and in Asia. So in that sense, I think there's a moderating influence on any spiral towards conflict, but there's always a chance for miscalculation by either China or the United States. President Trump puts a lot of value on personal relationships in his diplomacy, particularly with adversaries or competitors. So despite the fact that the North Korean problem has arguably gotten worse with the assistance to Russia as well as the nuclear program, I still think that President Trump sees it in his capacity to meet with Kim and to try to strike some sort of deal, whether it's with regard to peace on the Korean Peninsula, or a nuclear weapons test ban, or even stopping the supply of Russia in the Ukraine war. So I think the Trump administration will go forward with its policies on Korea, whether we're talking about reciprocal trade tariffs or a deal with North Korea or something having to do with cost sharing, burden sharing. The problem is in South Korea is that you don't have a government right now because of the political crisis. So if anything, Trump's foreign policies will move at a faster pace at a time when there is no government in Korea, which puts a lot more pressure on the incoming Korean government sometime in the summer when it's likely to be elected. It was a very good summit meeting that took place between Prime Minister Ishiba and President Trump. I think we saw coming out of that meeting what the way allies are going to play the relationship with Trump is. Japan has a huge trade surplus with the United States, but they try to compensate for that to block reciprocal tariffs by offering large amounts of foreign direct investment. So Ishiba came and he promised $1 trillion in Japanese foreign direct investment in the United States, and also showering Trump with praise. So I think that is kind of the way that many allies are going to play it when they seek meetings with Trump, to try to cut separate deals from the broad sweeping tariffs or actions that Trump may declare. So I think we're on the precipice of some major change, frankly. The United States traditionally has been a free trader in Asia. It has been a security patron. And I think under Trump and his policies, we could see a lot of that changing, whether it's in terms of the United States not being as generous, where the United States won't allow sort of these perennial trade deficits with important trading partners, but also important security partners. The real question is, how do allies and partners respond, both in the Indo-Pacific and in Europe? Do they work together more closely? Do they take self-help positions on their own and try to operate without the United States? These are sort of the unanswered questions as we enter the next 4 years of Trump-era foreign policy.